Mandela Effect Iceberg by a YouTuber named Source Brew. I'm sure you guys know what the Mandela Effect is. It's when you misremember something, and you remember it a certain way, but in reality, you look back and you're like, wait, it was never that way. You know what I mean? But yeah, YouTube viewers, like I just said to my chat, I don't think I'm going to be able to pause that much. It's already an hour and 40. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the volume every time I have to say something. But yeah, you know I'm a yapper. I know. Especially being an iceberg YouTuber. I wouldn't say I'm a retired iceberg YouTuber because it's been less than a year. Like I made one, what, 10 months ago? The whole month of November. No, yeah, that was shit, man. Hey, am I like an OG of icebergs though? I feel like that's a good way to describe me. But anyway, let's watch the Mandela Effect one.
Okay, so the Mandela Effect. You remember that time when you saw something that was so familiar, yet something about it was off? Something maybe you couldn't quite put your finger on until someone pointed it out? Maybe a changed letter, a small design choice, a few missing or changed words or phrases in a quote? This is the Mandela Effect. The idea of shared false memories, because maybe you could write this off as just something that you thought was odd, but when many people begin to remember something being slightly or even sometimes very different from the truth, it makes you start to question what's really going on here. Sometimes it might be something small and insignificant that you can look past, but sometimes it'll be something so ingrained in your memory, something so personal that you swear you remember it being different. That idea is called the Mandela Effect, the concept of shared false memories, which have many different explanations, from parallel and alternate universes to social and cognitive reinforcement of alleged and incorrect details. One thing is for certain though, these cases of the Mandela Effect are very interesting to look at and examine. So today, we're going to do just that with this iceberg created by Silent Chatterbox52. Who also created another iceberg I covered a while ago, the unused and cut video game content iceberg.
Oh my god, I want to watch that so bad. That has to be an offline watch, bro. I cannot watch a 3-hour and 30-minute video on stream because I add commentary. Bro, that shit would be 6 hours. YouTube viewers, would you guys be interested in me watching a 3-hour and 30-minute video where I do pause?
Oh my god.
Yo.
Oh, hell no, man.
We'd literally make a 6-hour video, bro. Low-key, no. Oh my god. We need a pause counter.
But this one here has quite a bit to offer, broken up into 7 tiers, with each of them getting more obscure and strange as it goes on. We start from the most well-known cases and get down to the more weird and uncanny ones. So without further delay, let's jump into the Mandela Effect iceberg.
Alright, let's go. Wow.
Nelson Mandela died in prison. The one that started it all. Not only is it one of the most well-known cases, but it's also the very case that this is even named after, as it relates to a false memory held by a lot of people that the former president of South Africa and activist Nelson Mandela died in prison sometime in the 80s, when in fact he lived on for much longer, dying in December of 2013 at the age of 95. It's a somewhat understandable case when you realize he spent 27 years in prison, but it's also kind of weird because he became the president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999, and you'd think that'd be something that more people would remember. And don't get me wrong, some did, but I guess when it comes to America and other Western countries, this wasn't as well known of a fact. Although many of those who claim to remember Mandela dying in prison in the 80s also recall news reports and coverage of the event, leading to wild theories of conspiracies and parallel universes.
Due to our ages, we don't really relate to this one, right?
We know it.
Like, this one was never, like, we know it's the name of it, but we just, I don't remember this, you know. This
Berenstein Bears. This is also one of the most well-known cases, and for some also one of the most compelling, due to it being a part of a lot of people's childhoods. So let me just come right out of the gate with this. Which of these two spellings seems correct to you?
I always forget which is correct now due to how much this has been spoken about. I always forget which one is the correct one. But if I were to, like right now, I don't even remember. If I were to, I've never seen it spelled stain. I would assume it's Berenstain like this. Like I see more last names spelled like this. So I would assume it's left.
Is it Berenstain Bears or Berenstein Bears? Well, most people would say Berenstein, but actually it's always been Berenstain, which a lot of people just can't wrap their heads around.
Or is he talking about pronunciation?
And I definitely get it. I don't really remember growing up with this book series too much, but just looking at the spelling, I mean, Berenstein just seems correct, right? And I think that's what a lot of this boils down to. Most people are familiar with last names including Steen, but not Stain. That's pretty uncommon.
I think they were just trying to be different. I remember these from my childhood, but it wasn't too crazy. That's why I don't get too passionate about this one, because I'm like, I was never like, I saw it with my own eyes. I just didn't.
The simple explanation behind this one.
It's just a weird spelling.
It was most likely just misremembered and even misread and misspoken for years, simply because of this rare spelling.
They do want to be different so bad, though. Like, who's spelling it like that?
Sinbad's Shazam.
Wait, is that a Call of Duty sound effect when he's typing it out? Like,
of this rare spelling.
Yeah, is that like Black Ops? That's Black Ops 2. That's Black Ops 2, right? Wait, I'm not tripping, right?
Shazam. This one is really interesting because it's a false memory of an entire movie that some people claim to remember from their childhoods. A film titled Shazam, which starred the American stand-up comedian Sinbad, who was said to play a genie in the film, which was thought to have released in the 1990s. However, there are a couple of different explanations for this one. First off, in 1996, there actually was a film called Kazam that starred Shaq as a genie, which a lot of people probably just misremembered. Also, Sinbad himself chimed in, saying that he did do a skit where he was dressed as a genie, which some people might have confused for an actual film. Also, can't forget to mention, in 2017, he was involved in an April Fool's prank with College Humor, where they made a short film starring him as the genie, with supposed lost footage from Shazam.
They'd be confused.
Curious George's Tale.
Okay, before we get into this one, let me see. I'm raw dogging the memory right now. Pause, hold up.
Oh my god.
But, does Curious George have a tail? From what I remember, going to Universal Studios and seeing him in the parking, I would say no. Or he has like a nub, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Apparently Curious George never had a tail.
Yeah, no, I never remembered him having a tail.
Even going back through basically every piece of Curious George media, it's just not there, which is strange. I mean, doesn't this image just look off?
No, it doesn't.
Like, which one of these do you remember?
The one on the right.
For me, the tail definitely looks better.
No, it doesn't.
But I think this is just because we almost always associate monkeys with tails. So seeing one without a tail is just such a weird thing that we don't even really acknowledge it.
Nah. Y'all just being annoying. I'm gonna call it how it is, bro. I'm reacting. No, it was never spelled. It was never spelled Toons. I know this one because I'm a huge fan of Daffy Duck. As you guys know. No, it was never tunes. It was always music tunes. I don't know why they did it. I don't know why. I don't know.
Looney Tunes. So, which one of these spelling?
The one on the right, bro. You're gonna hate my reaction. It's the one on the right.
The Looney Tunes looks correct to you. For me and a lot of other people, we immediately remember tunes as in cartoons, but actually this isn't the correct spelling, strangely enough. It's always been spelled tunes, like as in music, I guess. This one is just so strange.
I wonder if because I was always just a big fan of Daffy Duck since I was like a kid. That's why I'm like, nope. Every time I see this Mandela effect, I wonder if there is like a huge Berenstain fan out there that was always like, yeah, you guys are idiots. It was always Berenstain. You know? Like, For each Mandela effect, there has to be a huge fanatic that's just like, nope, you guys were always wrong. And I guess this one's mine.
Aspect, at least when it was initially created. Monopoly Man's monocle.
He never had one, right?
This one's also pretty crazy.
Yeah, this looks weird. This is the right one, right?
So, which of these looks right to you?
I hope it's the one on the right.
Is the one with the monocle or without?
Without, right?
Because apparently he never had the monocle.
Oh, okay.
Crazy stuff. I mean, this just looks weird to me.
No, it doesn't.
Again, I think this one boils down to associations and filling in gaps of memory. Because we usually associate these eyeglasses with old guys with top hats and mustaches. Also, it could be because of the mascot,
Probably.
Mr. Peanut from the company Planters, who does in fact wear the monocle. And apparently there were also some obscure instances in which the Monopoly guy did have the monocle, but generally he is seen without one. Luke, I am your father.
Oh, what is this one? I know it's Star Wars, but I remember seeing something about this. Is it the way he says it? Like, the cadence, right? Luke, I am your... Is it... Oh, watch the video, Tub.
Despite this being one of the most quoted lines...
Or he doesn't say Luke, right? He doesn't say Luke?
In movie history,
it's
almost always misquoted, leading to this being one of the most popular and interesting cases of the Mandela effect in film. Everyone recognizes the iconic line from Darth Vader as, "No, Luke, I am your father." But that's not actually what he says in the film. Really, he says,
"No, I am your father."
Now, my thoughts on why this is misquoted are pretty simple. I think the quote just changed slightly over time so that people could actually understand what they were trying to say.
Good point.
Because nothing is more awkward than saying something and waiting for someone to react, just for them not to get the reference. So I think people just added this small additional context to the quote so that people could easily recognize it. And after that, it just spread and many people adopted it and it just kind of stuck.
I'm not even trying to be different, but like, I think Star Trek is a lot cooler than Star Wars. Ever since I did the little like cartoons that talked about adult topics, I just like Star Trek a little bit more. But you know, I'm a normie perspective, so Star Wars fanatics don't like cry at that opinion, please. There is no dash, right? That's the one for this one. It's this one.
One isn't too crazy, at least compared to the other spelling ones in this list. Still, do you remember there being a hyphen between kit and cat? Well, some people do, but I gotta say I don't. Looking at them both side by side, the one without it looks right to me, to be honest. But I guess people assumed it did have this hyphen because it sounds like two words put together. Pikachu's colored tail. This one really got me, and I'm not even that big of a Pokemon.
Is it the one on the... I actually don't know. I actually don't know this one. If I had to guess, I'm assuming the one on the right. He has a black tail?
Pokemon fan or anything. I mean, I played a couple of the games when I was a kid, but still, one of these just looks off, right?
It's left?
Let me rephrase that. Which of these do you remember from the games, the anime, whatever? This one, right? With the black tip on the tail? Because that one actually isn't correct. Pikachu has actually never had black on its tail.
Wait, this is crazy. I never really paid attention to Pikachu. Like, I actually never, like, paid attention to him. Wait, he's so cute. Wait, what the fuck?
Oh my god, bro.
Bro, I'm serious. I never had, like, a crazy Pokemon phase. I just like the design of Gengar. I like Dragonite. I like Mewtwo. But, like, I never really, like, got into it too crazy. He's so cute. He's so cute. Wait, I didn't know he was so cute. What the fuck? I ain't gonna lie, bro. Mario, I was playing Mario, bro. I was not playing Pokemon. I was playing New Super Mario Bros. On DS and on the Wii.
But this could be explained by a couple of things. For one, Pikachu's evolutions do have black on their tails.
Pichu?
Also, it seems that there could be black on the tip because it would actually match his ears.
Yeah.
But it doesn't end there for Pikachu Mandela effects, because apparently Pikachu has two brown stripes on its back. Now,
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
wouldn't know
people
that.
probably already knew this, but this just comes down to Pikachu not really revealing his back too much, at least from what I've seen. But still,
Bro.
it does look kind of odd to me, to be honest.
You guys are weird, bro. Robber
emoji.
That's never existed, right?
Cases like these are really interesting, as it involves something that people remember that has never even existed. In this case, it relates to a robber emoji that many people remember vividly, even
Bro,
giving descriptions
Stop. They're just trying to
and artists.
mute. They're just trying to make stuff up. No, this was never a thing. Y'all keep trying to force a Mandela effect. No, dude, I swear. In iOS 7, when it dropped, there was a robber emoji. No, there wasn't. Please stop trying to be different. Please. Please. Go outside.
Message, like using the money bag plus one of the people ones, but I'm not too sure with this one. It's definitely interesting.
Okay.
Interview with a vampire. So I don't know too much about this one, so I can't speak from personal experience, but for those of you who know about this novel or its adaptations, which of these sounds correct to you? Is it interview with a vampire or interview with the vampire? To me, I immediately think interview with a vampire, but no, it's actually
What is this topic? I don't even know this one. Tom Cruise?
but many people also remember it being the former. There's a couple of theories on this one. First, if you say interview with the vampire fast enough, it can kind of sound like you're just saying a vampire, which over time may have changed what people thought the title really was.
Yeah, that makes sense. Look, because with the, it has TH and then TH with a. So it could sound like with a. Yeah. This one makes sense.
Or it could also be that people just think a vampire sounds better than the vampire. Because I guess usually in a story there's not just one. Life is like a box of chocolates. So we've got another misquote here, one from the iconic film Forrest Gump, and I'm starting to notice a trend here. It really is the most used movie quotes that get changed over time, and it's pretty interesting. Anyway, this refers to the scene where Forrest is sitting on a bench and says the line, "Life is like a box of chocolates."
Bro,
Well,
I've never seen this movie, bro. I've never seen this movie. I didn't even know Bubba Gump from Universal Studios was based on this. I had no idea until like Brandon told me. This is Run Forrest Run, right? Wait, hold on.
Actually, no. What he really said was,
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
not too big of a difference there. Probably.
Wait, so why was it a big deal when he starts running? Why was it Run Forrest Run? Why was it a big deal? Was he like paraplegic? Could he not run?
just people changing the quote.
Let me know. I low-key cried because he couldn't run. Oh, that's where Gen A comes from. This is where everything. Oh my god, I didn't know.
Febreze.
Oh, the spelling.
Another small spelling one, but
It's the one on the right? I remember this one caught me off guard.
still, this one is interesting. Take a look at these two spellings. Which one looks correct to you? If you said Febreze with two E's, surprisingly you'd be incorrect. It only has one E, and always did. Although this one can be pretty easily explained, I think, because obviously the actual word breeze is spelled with two E's, so our brains, I guess, just make the association between that word and the brand Febreze, especially when you say it out loud. It sounds like it should have two E's. Oscar Mayer.
Is that the mustard?
Here's another simple spelling one.
Wait, what company is this? I don't know. It's a hot dog thing, right? Oscar. I never said Meyer. I always said Oscar Mayer if I had to say it. I would assume. I don't even know, bro. Is it? I actually don't.
Looks right. If you said Oscar Mayer with an A, then you would be correct.
That's
not how many people, including myself, remember the spelling of this meat brand.
I
think this is yet again just a case of people assuming it was spelled with an E due to that being the more common spelling of
But this does look better.
Hello, Clarice.
Huh? stop looking at me like that, bro.
Morning.
So, is this what you remember Hannibal Lecter saying in Silence of the Lambs? Or do you remember
YouTube comments
him saying
are about to flame me. How does Tuff not know these movies? Bro. Because I'm 20. I'm not 24. I'm 20, okay? Just kidding.
this misquote has been going around for many, many years, starting only shortly after the release of the film in the 90s, as there is a Hello Clarice impersonation and quote by Jim Carrey in the film Cable Guy from 1996. Although this could be the actual origin of this misquote, which would be interesting.
Starry Heart with another gifted sub? Yo, you're the MVP. Starry Heart, you're an MVP. You're the MVP. Wow. The Mandela effect. My Mandela effect for you is that you gifted 5 subs. Oh, no. You gifted 10 subs. So if it's wrong, then why don't you just make it right and just give 10 subs right now? That's the Mandela effect that I'm thinking about. So maybe you could just do that one. Just kidding.
Fruit of the Loom Cornucopia. Now, this one, for me at least...
Did he say Chromacopia by Tyler? Nah, I'm playing. It was always this one. I remember people arguing about this. It would never had that thing.
These 2 images for the logo of the
never
company.
had that.
Which of these looks right to you? Doesn't it seem like the one missing this thing, the cornucopia, is wrong? Well, apparently...
Joyful Star with another gifted sub. You know what? You're an MVP as well. Thank you so much. Are you guys deadass battling it out for gifting subs? Hey, I don't mind.
No, this is the actual logo. There is no cornucopia on it. Now, this is just strange. How did so many of us misremember this strange item being behind the fruit?
I used to buy these underwear all the time. I remember. Well, I didn't buy them. My mom would buy them for me. I was like 5. I would remember seeing the cornucopia, the chromacopia. Dreams, Dreams with the gifted sub. That's so sweet. Thank you, Dreams.
1994 newspaper article, the logo is described as having a cornucopia in it. I guess the best explanation for this is that cornucopias in general are usually accompanied by fruits in any image you Google. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what this thing is meant to do in the first place, so it could just be the association factor. Still, this is one of the most interesting and compelling cases.
I'll give it credit. Yeah, it is interesting, but... Case Panic. You actually...
Sex in the City.
Oh, Dreams. Dreams gifted a case. Nice. W Dreams, bro. Sex in the City.
I don't know much about this sitcom series, but right out of the gate, this small title change seems like another case.
Which one is it, guys? Sex in the City or Oh, it's Sex and the City, but we always thought it was in, right? Sex and the City, right? Because I only heard about Jokes and Family Guy, but
of it sounding different when said, which may have made people believe the title was slightly different. What am I even talking about here? Well, there's an HBO drama series from the 90s called Sex and the City, although some people remember it being called or titled Sex in the City. Mona Lisa never smiled.
Oh, so okay. Was Mona Lisa cracking a little like a, you know what I mean? Like, or was she just like?
That title is a little bit of a spoiler.
I low-key remember her, when I think of Mona Lisa, I actually think of her like cracking a little smile. I'm not gonna lie. Really? She never was like.
But before I show you the Mona Lisa, think of what the painting looks like in your head.
I always thought she...
Now, which of these looks like what you pictured? For me, it was definitely...
I thought it was left.
The one with no smile. But that's the fake one. She really did have a smile on her face in the real painting.
Oh, no, I was right. Oh, yeah, no, that's how I remembered it.
Which is really interesting. It's been said that the expression can look a little different from certain angles, but to me...
Mona Lisa, what do you mean? Na 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 na. Tell me about yeah. Y'all know that one? What does he say? I forgot. The ballad of Mona Lisa. I don't even know how the fucking song goes anymore. Damn, I'm old.
It definitely seems like a smile on the real Mona Lisa, despite some recreations and replicas looking a little different.
you mean? Yeah.
Fruit Loops.
All right, with the bird, right? The toucan.
Alright, you know the drill by now. Which of these do you remember?
I was never the biggest fan of Fruit Loops. You guys are gonna crucify me for that. I was always a chocolate cereal type of guy. Cocoa Pebbles, bitch. But damn, I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you guys, bro. I don't know, man. If I had to guess, I would say left, because it's always what you don't think it is.
Because if you said Fruit Loops with fruit spelled correctly, then you'd actually be wrong. This is the correct one. It's another case of a
I never really got
but
into them. I
strange
never really got
spelling
into
choice that is just so weird that we choose as humans to not recognize it.
Okay, I'm gonna pull an XQC moment. I'm gonna leave the video playing. I just need to go grab my phone. I realize that it's not on my desk. I know, I'm gonna pull an XQC. You're just gonna screenshot it and then judge me for the rest of my fucking career about it. I know. I'm gonna be back so quick.
At least that goes for some of us anyway. But hey, now you know. Volkswagen logo is connected. Now, this one is pretty funny because it's such a small detail, but it turns out a lot of people who either owned a Volkswagen or saw them years ago remember seeing no gap in the logo, which of course...
When I'm driving and I look at a Volkswagen logo, which I don't really look at it, I would see... Fuck. I think left.
This is now present. Now, it's one of those things that's such a small detail that I think people just omitted it from their memory, as it really serves no purpose and honestly looks better without it. Plus, it's actually so small, who's even gonna notice that unless you point it out?
It is. Yeah, I was right. Okay. This is basically, are you right or wrong?
C-3PO never had a silver leg.
Never. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
I'm not even a big Star Wars guy or anything, but this was just crazy to me when I first saw it. Which of these do you remember from the movies, or even anything Star Wars related?
I did not.
Because if you said the one without the silver leg, that's wrong. Apparently he's always had this silver leg, even since the original trilogy.
That's really
even
cool,
the
though.
toys and everything have this silver leg,
That's
and
so
somehow
cool.
I and many others just never noticed. Although there are some old figures that have both legs gold. Still, it's a weird one for sure.
I like that. That's a cool design.
Jiffy.
Jiffy.
Now, this
Peanut
one
butter?
didn't really get me like some of the others because I literally always buy this brand of
It's just Jif though, right? Yeah, it is. It's just Jif. It's not Jiffy. That's the
peanut
Spoiler
butter,
alert.
but for some, the Jif brand just doesn't seem right. And they remember it being called Jiffy, with the jar looking something like this. And I mean, to be honest, Jiffy does sound more like a peanut butter brand than Jif. Like, I feel like I've heard a lot of people call it
they
Jiffy,
confuse it with
so I guess
Skippy.
that might have perpetuated this misconception.
Oh, I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Hey, can someone make me one real quick? Imagine that's how the internet works.
Ford logo with no squiggle. More car stuff. Not gonna take too much time with this one. It's a really small difference, but something
I don't even know the difference. Oh, the little squiggle right here. I'm gonna assume it's the bottom one.
that a lot of people feel pretty strongly about. I think Joe Rogan even weighed in on this one. Basically, the Ford logo has this small squiggle on the F that most people don't notice, and don't remember because it's such a small thing. Not as small as the Volkswagen gap, but still, that's why I think many people don't remember it.
I didn't even know that one.
Elementary, my dear Watson. So this one's pretty simple and a little different because the quote, "Elementary, my dear Watson," was not in any of the original books written by Arthur Doyle. However, it is actually what was said in the movies, and is the actual origin of this quote. So less of a Mandela effect situation, and more of just something that didn't come from the original source material.
Yeah, I'm not too interested in that one. That's why they didn't really pay attention to that one. Tier 3.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
It's not that, right? It's mirror, mirror on the wall. Yeah, it's not that, right? Mirror, mirror.
This is one of those quote ones that is just wild to me.
Oh, Magic
So
Mirror.
anyway, whoever's seen the
Yeah,
Disney animated
Magic Mirror on
film
the
Snow
Wall.
White and the Seven Dwarves knows this quote.
I should
Hell,
know.
even if you haven't
I
seen
named
the
song
movie,
after it.
you've probably heard it at one point or another. The scene in question shows the evil queen with the mirror. And what does she say? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Well, no. Actually, she says this.
Magic mirror on the wall.
Wait, I did the same thing. Wait, oh my god. Wait, I accidentally created, no, or like, whoa, I'm a dumbass. Wait, my song. I named my song Magic Mirror, but in the song I say mirror, mirror, right? Okay, wait, hold up. Wait, no way, it got me too. Literally,
Give an expiration.
Magic Mirror.
Maybe I've been stepping all out of line, and maybe I shouldn't drink while I go out and drive.
Where is
Every
it?
time I see you, I can't deny. I hope we fall in love in another life, and you don't even gotta be my fucking wife.
Where is
I
it?
want you in my life till I fucking mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? I already
Oh
know
my
I'm fair,
God.
You don't gotta make this worse. If I break the mirror, well, I
Wow. Wow. Even I did that? Yo. I didn't think about it. That's interesting.
Who is the fairest one of all?
That one word change has got people scratching their heads. I mean, just look at the comments on clips of this scene. Everyone remembers it mirror, mirror on the wall.
Yeah,
Again, I
because
think
Tubbs
this is
said
just
it.
a perpetuated misquote.
Literally, once I said it, everyone else thought it was that. You know what I mean?
Mirror, which just goes to show how deep this misquote was ingrained in our culture. Really fascinating stuff.
She got that tub hairline.
Depends adult diapers. Now I gotta say, I didn't expect adult diapers of all things to appear on a Mandela
Yeah.
effects list, but here we are. Anyway, some
Okay.
people remember it
Dreams, you probably know about this one, right?
being called depends instead of just depend. And interestingly, out of all things, this is one of the cases that is most compelling for some people. However, I have seen some point out that this could be a simple case of people adding on the S to make it sound
Dude,
plural,
no
which is
one
something
in
that
here
some people
knows about
do
this
with
one.
other brands and products.
How many tears are there?
Risky Business dance scene. In the film Risky Business, there's a scene with Tom Cruise dancing and singing, and it's one of the most famous scenes from the film. So much so that it was even parodied in The Simpsons. And curiously, even in that version, Homer can be seen wearing sunglasses. Not just there too, there are other parodies of the scene, and pretty much all of them have the person wearing sunglasses, even though Tom Cruise wasn't wearing any in the actual scene. Now, there's kind of an explanation for this one, because in the film, Tom Cruise's character is constantly
My
seen
mom
wearing the
knows who you
sunglasses. So you begin to associate the
does she think
character
about
of
me?
Ricky with the glasses, and maybe your mind just remembers them because they were in a lot of the other scenes in the film and even on the posters. But not only that, the parodies
Yes,
of
I'm
the
actually
scene
listening to the
also
fucking
probably
video.
perpetuated this, because they might have used the glasses to help show the audience who and what they were actually making a parody of. It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Mr. Rogers?
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
So did that sound right to
Yeah, that's why the plush undersold. Bay Amber, you weren't subscribed, Amber, this whole time? Welcome to Tub Gang. Welcome to Tub Gang.
you? Or do you remember It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood?
We hit our sub-
Because that's
sub
what a
goal,
lot of
W
people
sub
who
goal.
grew up with this show remember. But it's not actually the case.
I didn't grow up with this show.
Now,
I barely
this one
saw
is
it, but it
kind
was
of
my
understandable.
older
It's
sister's
a
show.
small change, and maybe it was just another quote that changed slightly over time with people saying it. Tinkerbell riding the Disney logo. Bruh, no way this didn't happen. I watched
It didn't happen, bro.
way too many DVDs when I was a kid with this exact animation for it not to exist. No way. I can vividly remember it, like I can play it back in my head. There's even been some recreations
No.
of it that look pretty faithful to what I and a lot of others
No,
can
it
remember.
didn't happen.
But apparently it never happened. Specifically the intro with the blue background and the white castle.
That looks horrible. If anything, it would have been a silhouette, like a white silhouette of the Tinkerbell. Like, it wouldn't be like this.
Pretty crazy stuff.
Nah.
Captain Crunch.
No, it's Cap'n. Is that the point?
So a lot of these changed name ones have kind of small differences. You know, a letter or two. But this one is pretty wild considering it cuts out so many letters that a lot of people remember seeing. Because if this is how you remember Captain Crunch, well, you're mistaken.
No, it's Cap'n.
Because this is actually how Captain Crunch has always been spelled. And I mean, to me, this just looks weird. However, this probably comes down to the fact
I'll always remember that it was Cap'n Crunch because, first of all, it's a great cereal. Maybe not health-wise, but also it was the first. I was like, wait, they're being cool. You know, they're using an apostrophe. And being a big grammar person, it was very, I was like, okay, I'll remember that forever now. So it's always been Cap'n Crunch. I do say Captain Crunch, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, I just say it just because I like saying Captain, you know?
What if I told you? What if I told you that Morpheus never actually said, what if I told you?
Really?
No, but seriously, apparently he never said it, despite all the countless memes that were made since like 2012. The full line that a lot of people remember is, what if I told you that everything you knew was a lie? But that was never actually said. And it's likely that this quote actually came about from the memes. Or at least was popularized enough by them to the point that people thought this was an actual line from the movie. Although the origin of What If I Told You...
A lot of early 2000s movies, or maybe... Is this early 2000s? I'm just not gonna know. And then I just don't have... Like, my heart's not in it, you know, to, like, care.
Cannot be confirmed.
I do like some of DC the Don's music. I like the feature on Quadeca.
Beam Me Up, Scotty. Not really a Star Trek guy. Honestly, I haven't really watched any of the movies or the shows or anything, but even I have still heard this quote many times over the years. And what do you know, Captain Kirk never actually said it. He said similar lines such as beam me up and Scotty beam us up, but never this phrase exactly. And it's most likely just a simple and easier to understand misquotation that kinda stuck around over the years with people saying it. Shaggy's Adam's Apple. Here's one that I can also specifically remember from watching the original Scooby-Doo series as a kid, and a lot of others recall this aspect of Shaggy's character design as well, a prominent Adam's apple, which many people can remember.
Nah, I think they're confusing it with whenever he would swallow the sandwiches whole.
Was used for comedic effect in scenes where he would gulp in fear. However, apparently he doesn't have one.
I think
and even the proposition that it was
he would always be eating
shown
food.
Either when he was scared or eating something, well, that falls flat too. Because in the scenes of Shaggy gulping, there is no visible Adam's apple.
No way.
Which is just kind of...
I'm gonna assume his throat just His throat just stretches when he eats the sandwich, like it's a outline of the sandwich.
Mind-boggling to me. Double stuff Oreos.
Oh, weird spelling.
Some people remember them being called double stuff with 2 F's, or even double stuffed.
I never
but
bought
not
them, so.
double stuff with 1 F, which for some reason is what it actually is. Now apparently in the UK they actually are called double stuff with 2 F's, so that explains images of those that you might have seen, but as for double stuffed, they have never been called that as far as I'm aware.
Let me put y'all on. Birthday cake Oreos? Crazy. You'll never go back. But they're rare. They're kind of rare to find.
Kind of spread.
They're golden, and they have
actually
birthday
stuck
cake
in the
stuffing.
public consciousness.
You'll never go back. I'll put y'all on. And remember me.
A Bug's Life 2.
Did that even happen? Wait, Drew telling me...
This is a crazy one.
There's
because
no way...
it's not just a spelling error, a misquote, or anything like that.
It never happened, right?
But a full-on movie that many people believe they remember watching as kids.
That never happened.
A sequel to the animated film A Bug's Life, simply titled A Bug's Life 2.
Also, there is a real sequel apparently in the works right now, and that was this video was made 3 years ago. Okay, so I was right. There was never a Bug's Life.
On Reddit describes the alleged film. Quote, I swear I remember A Bug's Life 2 existing when I was
Oh my god, you want to be different so bad. Bro, I swear there was a Spanish tub channel at one point. There was.
a kid. I know there's a blooper that makes a joke about it and how Toy Story got a sequel instead, but I remember seeing the movie itself. I don't remember a ton.
Alright,
I remember the poster first of all. It was a darker shade of blue with all the main characters on it. The logo was the same, but the number 2 was on the end, obviously. And it was a leaf with bytes taken out of it, so it looked like a number 2. I also remember the tagline being, "The bugs are back in town." And the plot was something along the lines of one of the bugs has an argument with his friends and leaves them, ending up in a nearby city and sneaking into a motel/hotel, and the other bugs look around the town to find him. I realized that's similar to the plot of Toy Story 2, but it was more so about the bugs
every
exploring
time
the city and
people
cool stuff,
go this deep into just making up stuff about Mandela effect, either they got the information wrong,
more so motivation
like
to
completely, like they're remembering another series, or if they're making it up, it's just giving like, yeah, my cousin, my uncle is Michael Jackson. It's giving that.
to this one is that people are just confusing a second
not real.
Bugs Life film with another movie called Ants,
Probably
which
that.
actually released that same year.
Probably that.
JC Penney. Okay, this one is not that crazy in my opinion, just one of those things that some people tend to misspell, as there is actually an E before the Y in JC Penney, which some claim is an example of the Mandela effect.
Really?
But
And I
it
never
really has always been JC Penney, as it is
JC Penney, that's where you can get your photos taken, right? Like
named after
like family photos. That and Macy's, right? Because other than that, I don't really go there for clothes, or I don't think I ever did. Yes.
I Was a Teenage Gary Squidward transformation scene.
Is that the?
It seems like this SpongeBob scene always comes up no matter what I'm
this
talking
never
about.
happened.
Lost media in general, fake lost media, and even now the Mandela effect. But I'll go over it again. So in the episode I Was a Teenage Gary, where SpongeBob and Squidward transform into snails, SpongeBob actually has a full transformation sequence, which a lot of people also remember happening with Squidward after he is injected with the snail plasma.
No.
However, in all
just
versions of the
cuts.
episode, this scene is absent, and it simply cuts to after Squidward has already transformed, leading some to believe that there was maybe a deleted scene or something of the full transformation. However, there is no proof of such a scene's existence.
Never happened, bro. That's the ending where the meow 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 meow. I loved that episode as a kid. That never happened.
You like me. You really like me. This refers to an Oscar speech by actress Sally Field that is often parodied and quoted, but usually incorrectly. She is often attributed as saying, "You like me, you really like me." But this is what she actually said.
That you like me right now. You like me.
And if you look at the
Sweet.
comments on this, a lot of people don't remember this version of the speech, especially the "right now" part.
You old heads have bad memory. That's basically what this video is calling out all old heads. No, I'm sorry. I just got some people mad. I'm sorry. I was just kidding. I was just kidding. I was just kidding, guys.
Judge Judy used the gavel. So the American reality court drama Judge Judy has been around since the 90s, for 25 seasons and over 6,000 episodes. Yes, you heard that right. And in all that time, as far as I'm aware,
6,000?
Judge Judy has surprisingly never used or slammed the gavel, despite many people recalling that she did on multiple
You guys seen?
occasions.
Someone said in the chat, wait, guys, is 51 too old? You guys seen those tweets that make fun of like age gaps, and they're like, guys, is 18 and 19 too old? But like some people like
even if it's not
they
Judge
modify the
Judy,
tweet
which
as the
probably
years go on. They're like,
influences our
guys,
brains and our memory,
is 19 and
filling in those
58
gaps of
too old?
information.
Shit, like that's what that comment just reminded me of.
Cheez-Its.
No, is 19 and 58
Okay, so
weird?
this one is kind of funny to me because Cheez-Its, don't ask why, became a pretty big meme in my friend group for a while. So I knew for sure it was Cheez-It, not Z or S at the end or anything. Although
There's
a lot of people claim
Oh my god. There's no Z at the end? I guess that does look weird looking at it. Let me mute
that
it.
there was
That does look weird, but no one says like, yo, did you get the new Cheez-It box? You know? This looks normal to my eyes, but like no one says it like that. Hey, give me a pack of Cheez-It. No one says get me a pack of Cheez-It. No one says that.
probably has something to do with the Z in cheese, making many people feel like the letter Z is an important component of their brand and spelling. King Henry VIII holding a turkey leg.
What?
A lot of people claim to remember a specific painting of King Henry VIII holding up a turkey leg. And once again, it's something that is often referenced and parodied, even in an episode of The Simpsons once again. But apparently no such painting exists. This could possibly be explained by the fact that there are depictions of King Henry VIII holding up something in his hand, which could have been then changed to a turkey leg in parodies, and eventually that kind of just stuck around and is now commonly associated with him, which is likely the case with some of these other entries.
No major input for this one, as I don't know about that.
Starbucks crown.
The mermaid logo?
Alright, so for those of you familiar with the Starbucks logo,
which one would it be? I'm gonna think, well, here, my camera. I would think it's the one on the left, guys. What do you guys think? Left or right? I would think it's the one on the left. A lot of you guys go to Starbucks like daily. I do not. I don't think I've ever ordered a proper drink from Starbucks. If I go, it's, you know, obviously if I'm with a girl. Not that guys can't drink Starbucks, but like I don't even like coffee in the first place. But I would just get milk. Bruh. Milk and a cake pop. Some water. I don't know. Anyway, I'd say it's left. Middle one, bro.
Which of these looks right to you? Because for some people, they don't recall there being a star on the crown. Even some people who worked at Starbucks don't remember it. But it's pretty much always been there. At least since the initial logo redesign.
I'm pretty sure we have
and if you do stop and think about it for a second, the company is called Starbucks.
Yeah.
So having a star in the logo does make sense.
Oh! Wait, what do you say? Hold up.
And being a star on the crown. Even some people who worked at Starbucks familiar with the Starbucks logo. Which of these looks right to you? Because for some people, they don't recall there being a star on the crown. Even some people who worked at Starbucks don't remember it. But it's pretty much always been there.
There's a star? Yo, that one actually got me. That one actually got me.
Since the initial logo redesign. And if you do stop and think about it for a second, the company is called Starbucks.
I mean, yeah.
So having a star in the logo does make sense.
It just looks so complicated.
Jungle Book's Baloo wears a coconut bra.
They got you, Unk. Yeah.
In the original 1967 Jungle Book film, the character Baloo is commonly remembered as wearing a coconut bra while he does a dance. But this one actually has a rational explanation, because while it might not happen in that movie, Baloo does do a dance with a bra in the animated series Tailspin, which is likely where people remember this from, and just confuse it for being in the Jungle Book film.
I wasn't much of a Disney kid growing up. I was Cartoon Network.
We are the champions of the world. This one's pretty crazy. And
it is, because isn't there like a credit scene that leaks it, or like our show?
From the title, you probably already know what this one is. Queen's hit song "We Are the Champions" is one that pretty much everyone has heard. And at the end of the song, Freddie Mercury sings "We Are the Champions," and that's it. He doesn't say in the 1977 studio version "of the world," even though pretty much everyone expects it and even sings it when listening to the song. But there is an explanation behind this too, because Freddie Mercury, when performing the songs live, would add "of the world" at the end of the song during some of their performances, which I think stuck with a lot of people and honestly sounds a lot better than it just kind of ending abruptly. So a lot of people adopted this and began to think it was part of the original song, although some claim that they remember "of the world" in their CDs and such, which had the studio and greatest hits versions of the song.
Oh, I guess I'm about to give you guys some lore. Apparently, I remember watching a video about it years ago, but apparently in like the end credits of a specific like 90s movie, they used that song, and you could hear Freddie Mercury at the end of the song say "of the world," and it's like, whoa. So they did find it. Like, I don't know if it was a re-recording. I don't know. You could do more research out of that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misremember. But like, I remember that being like a really weird. Yeah, vocals. I know. What's up?
Laughing cow nose ring. This is another one regarding a company logo, that of the cheese brand called the Laughing Cow. Now, if you're familiar with this logo, tell me, is something missing here?
I don't know too much. I just remember like kids, like in middle school, elementary, like eating these sometimes.
Because some think that they remember this cow having some sort of nose ring, perhaps in a gold color. This is probably another case of common associations, as bulls commonly do have these nose rings, but throughout its long history of logo changes, I couldn't find any that had the described nose ring. Spike the Gremlin.
The gremlin, like the actual gremlin.
So for those of you that have seen the first Gremlins movie, do you remember this guy? The main antagonist and Gremlin leader character? What is his name? Spike or Stripe?
Dude,
well, it's actually Stripe, to the surprise of some people. My only guess for this one is that Spike is a much more common name than Stripe, and years after seeing the film, it may be hard to remember the exact name of the character.
Tier 4. We're on to tier 4 of 7.
Scary movie, I See White People. This is another one of those cases where I've never seen the actual movie, but I have heard people quote this multiple times, and apparently it was never said. In the film itself, the character Shorty just says, "I see dead people," which is obviously just a reference to The Sixth Sense, but many people remember a parody version of him saying, "I see white people," which honestly would make a lot more sense, as this movie, titled Scary Movie, is literally dedicated to
someone said, why are we watching all of this? Because people leave this on overnight and give me views and I make money. That's why. Not stuff. Because I am interested in the Mandela effect iceberg. That is why.
Too. And I guessed it just kind of spread after
What do you want me to say,
people
dude?
For some reason misassociating that quote with Scary Movie. Wizard of Oz Scarecrow Gun. This is a very popular Mandela effect, to no one's surprise because it surrounds one of the most famous films of all time. And it's quite the shocking twist, as a lot of us remember this movie as just a wholesome musical adventure. Although it is no stranger to the darker side of things, when you look at stuff like what went on behind the scenes as well as various conspiracies and urban legends around the film, but tell me, did you remember Scarecrow having a gun? No? Neither did I, or basically anyone.
I didn't watch it, but I wouldn't because it's a kid.
He, for some reason, has some sort of revolver.
Really?
There's a couple of theories for this one. First of all, it's such an old film that some of the restored versions actually lose quite a bit of detail, and it would honestly be hard to tell what Scarecrow was holding in this scene for some versions. Also, this scene in particular is actually said to be cut from a lot of versions of the film as well, which could also explain why some people don't remember it.
Who could have been Scarecrow's enemy? Oh, crows.
Chick-fil-A.
What, no dashes? Or is there dashes?
Familiar with the fast food chain known for their chicken sandwiches, Chick-fil-A? Well, how do you remember it being spelled?
Up.
Like this
top.
or this?
Top, please be
Well,
top.
many people don't remember there being a K at the end of Chick, but it has always been there. With Chick-fil-A themselves even weighing in on it, stating that it is the only correct way of spelling it.
Okay, it's top.
Mickey Mouse didn't have a tail.
Mickey Mouse?
Here we go again, but this time it's the opposite. Many people remember Mickey Mouse not having a tail, when in reality he does and always has. So what's the explanation here? Parallel universes? No, actually I think this one is pretty straightforward, because Mickey Mouse has a very small and thin tail design.
How did they do the tail at Disneyland when like the mascot is walking around? Like the mascot has to walk around with a giant tail? Guys, he doesn't, it looks like he doesn't have a tail. And the mascot doesn't have a tail. I see why people could be confused. That is kind of creepy. Can't even see. That is kind of creepy. Oh my god, what is that? Okay, looks like the mascot doesn't.
So in a lot of the animations, the tail is either tucked into his pants or is not even animated. So yes, sometimes Mickey Mouse is drawn without his tail, despite the character actually having one, which would explain why some don't remember it. Some also think it could be because there are a lot of other distinguishing features that people are drawn to and remember about the character, such as his eyes, ears, and classic overalls, or pants. We'll get to that whole debate a little later.
Did you guys know that, what is it, Willie, Whistle Willie? Like, this specific Mickey is like Willie Steamhouse, something like that, or Steamboat Willie, right? Did you guys know that it's free, like, the IP is free, and, like, you can just, like, make legal parodies of it, like, you could use it, not even parodies. So, we wanted Steamboat Willie. We wanted to do this for Exist. I think it would be really cool, because it's free property now. So, anyone could use it. And I think it would be really cool to do, like, a Steamboat Willie Exist, like, one design. Right? That's tough, though.
Lucy, you got some splaining to do. So what is this referring to? Well, this is an alleged quote and catchphrase from the character
Next
Ricky
PSA
Ricardo
video probably will
on
be
the
filmed like
American
2 weeks from
sitcom
now.
series
I like
I
spacing
Love
them
Lucy, which people remember him saying despite this exact line never being used. It's just another one of those misquotes that's evolved over time.
I don't have much to add to this one. Come here, no.
Play it again, Sam. Another misquote here. Get used to it if you haven't already, there are a ton of these. This time coming from the 1944 film Casablanca. The original quote was actually just,
we can do another
"Play it,
animated
Sam."
horror shorts, yeah.
Although over the years, people began to quote it as, "Play it again, Sam." This could be because in 1969, there was a play written called Play It Again, Sam,
Hello,
which was later made into a film in 1972, which probably contributed to people believing
Jordan,
this
when are
was
you
the
gonna finish
real
that
quote.
video about my music career?
JFK's car had 4 people in it. Yet another mystery regarding JFK. Add this one to the list, I guess. If you've seen the footage from that day,
edited.
do you recall
Then
how many
upload it,
people were
bruh.
in the car?
Friday.
JFK, his wife, and the driver? Or was there 4? 2 in the
Nice.
front and 2 in the
I'll be
back
watching
seat?
on stream.
Well, neither of these actually. There were 6 people in the car when it all happened. Now,
Hey,
a lot of people don't remember.
Who was there when this happened, bro? Nah, our parents were, right? Or was it our grandparents that were? Assassination of JFK. Let me look it up.
More than 4 people being in the car, but this one is pretty well documented and simple to explain, despite this event having more mystery and conspiracies than maybe
Have you
any
guys
other
seen the
event
actual
in American
footage
history.
of the JFK
Obviously, your
assassination?
focus when watching the videos and looking at pictures is
1963.
going to be the back of the car with JFK
Oh no,
and
that's
the
our
First Lady.
grandparents.
Even most of the camera angles focus on the president, which makes
Yeah, I
sense,
didn't-
right? So it's probably hard to notice that there is actually 2 members of the Secret Service in front, and even more people forget
My
or don't
history
remember
teacher
that the
showed
governor
me.
of Texas was in the middle with his wife. Also, you know, most cars that look like this didn't have 6 seats, so that could have also added to the confusion and absence from people's memories.
That is a lot of seats though.
Uncle Sam's striped hat.
Could you maybe send me like my part of the footage of premiere? I wanted to make a good reel on TikTok. My mom wants to see. Okay, I'll see if I have the raw file. Frick, dude, I'll see if I have it. I'll see if I have it. But just low key remind me though. Uncle Sam.
Alright, everyone knows Uncle Sam, right? Well, at least my audience from the US should know this character used as the personification of the government. Now, how do you remember his design? Which of these look
the one on the right? Wait, what? Why would it be the zombified version of him?
looks like how you remember it? If you said the one with the stripes, you'd be actually mistaken, because his hat simply has stars on it. Despite many people
Why did he use this one where he's a zombie? No one's gonna pick this one. What?
believing his hat had stripes, so much so that many artists' depictions of the character include the striped hat. So what's going on here?
We're comparing hats. Why did you use a one where he's a zombie? What?
Pants, which is a notable feature and something that really sticks out in people's minds. Although it's not always shown in images of him. Actually, the most iconic image of Uncle Sam doesn't show his legs at all. So do our brains just fill in the gaps because we remember the red stripes? I'm not sure, but that's the best explanation I've got. Would you like to play a game?
Hear me out.
This one really got me. Like, out of all of these, this
that
one
is a
hit
famous
hard.
quote, though. Would
I guess
you like to play
just
a game?
because Saw is kind of a nostalgic movie for me. I actually, like, can't believe this right now. I grew up in the 2000s, so these misquotes...
He's like, hello, would you like to play a game? Right? That's the quote. There's no way. What? Watch him have the craziest switch up of a quote. Hello. Perhaps would there be a chance that you want to play a game or something? That's the real quote.
Quotes from older films and TV shows don't do too much for me, but experiencing this one firsthand is crazy. Not only can I remember people quoting this like all my life, but I can even remember Jigsaw saying it in his iconic voice. So what did he actually say then?
No way.
He says,
I want to play a game.
Oh.
So despite this kind of blowing...
I want to play a game. Oh. I feel like this is the type of design that gave kids nightmares, right? I guess I always skipped over this. Nah.
My mind, I think I get it now. People have pointed out that it makes sense that he would say, I want to play a game, instead of, do you want to play a game? Because he's obviously not giving them a choice. And once again, this misquote most likely took over due to parody.
In the movie, do you want to play a game? The person, nah. Oh, wait, you don't? All right, let him out.
Rubik's Cube.
Oh, no, it's with a K apostrophe S, right? Rubik's Cube. It belongs to Rubik, right? Right?
So this one is pretty simple.
Is it that?
But some remember this cube being called the Rubik's
Sub,
Cube
one more sub?
spelled with an X.
Hey, make it a bundle. Do a gift of 10. Nah, I'm playing. That'd be cool. One more gift of sub would be cool.
However, this is false. It's actually Rubik's Cube with a K and an S.
Yep.
And the very simple explanation behind that is that it was created by a man named Erno Rubik, hence the name.
Simple.
The Flintstones.
Flint.
This one is kind of hilarious, because for me, I never really watched this show at all, but I still have always heard it being called The Flintstones.
There's no way it's the one on the right. That's just the Flintstones. Please, it's got to be the...
doubt in my mind.
It's got to be this
However,
one. No way.
Some people claimed they remembered the Flintstones with no T.
No
which
way.
really makes no sense. But hold on.
Yes, it does, creator. Because no one is pronouncing that T. Hey, did you watch the Flintstones today? No one is saying that whenever they're watching Flintstones. Yes, creator. Thank you for the content. But still, like, it does make sense. No one is pronouncing the T. Hey, bro. Hey, mom, put on Flintstones.
Where this thing
it does make sense because Flint and Steel, Minecraft. I know, but like still.
Whether you remember it as the Flintstones or the Flintstones, according to some, you would both be correct. Because apparently some people think that the name change keeps flip-flopping over the years and changing back and forth. But I'm pretty sure it's always been Flintstones, as it is something that actually relates to the time period and setting of the show. Whereas Flintstones is just a made-up word. But hopefully somehow it switches back to Flintstones after making this video or something, and this can be incorrect.
You are such a fucking goat, Starry Heart.
The Karate Kid's Rising Sun headband. So the original Karate Kid film from 1984 is a movie that is relevant and talked about still today, especially with the resurgence.
They actually filmed the golf scene at mini golf / arcade in California that I've been to a good amount of times, and they have it as like their big golden thing at right when you walk in. It's like Karate Kid was filmed here, and they show the screenshot. It's pretty cool.
Of the story with Cobra Kai. But think back to the original for a second. Do you remember Daniel's headband having a red rising sun on it? Well, it was actually a blue flower. However, the design of this blue lotus flower does kind of look similar to the rising sun. I only watched the Jaden Smith
although
the colors
Karate
are
Kid,
wrong,
which
but
was
that
really
could
good.
Be a reason for the confusion.
With Jackie Chan.
Also, this poster for
really
the
good.
Karate Kid 3 probably
I want to
didn't
go
help
home.
things, and could have made people
Why did you
actually
move that
think
kid
of the
to,
rising
where'd he go,
sun
China?
symbol.
Shout out Meow Zarella with the first time
Run,
chat.
you fools. This one is interesting because both versions of this Gandalf line from the Fellowship of the Ring are technically right. Because in most versions of the film, he says,
Blimey, you fools.
despite many people remembering he said, run you fools. And he actually did. Although only during its original theatrical
You spent
run,
$47
before it was changed
on
and
this
dubbed
stream?
over
Oh
to
my
better
God,
adapt
thank
the
you so
source
much.
material. And since then, it's
I
been
didn't realize
fly,
that
you
it adds
fools.
up. I'm no shit, but oh my god, thank you. Like deadass, thank you.
CERN logo is a single spiral. So CERN, also known as the European Organization for Nuclear Research,
Does anyone
is
know
no
what this
stranger
is?
to conspiracy theories and urban legends. You've got that whole ritual thing, demon portals, and now people even blaming the Mandela effect on them, claiming they are actually responsible for our reality changing. But this entry refers to a specific Mandela effect related to their logo. I guess some people believed that their logo was just a single spiral, however the shape of their logo is actually based on the accelerators at CERN. Also, some people think it consists of 3 sixes, aka 666, just to add to the pile of conspiracy theories related to CERN.
Oh, thank you, Random Ghost. Thank you, man.
Gandhi.
Oh, is it the spelling of Gandhi? Because it is not spelled that way. It is Gandhi.
This one is pretty simple to explain, so we won't waste
Yeah, I know. Hey, shout out to Game Gandhi, aka Red Gandhi, aka Kaz, my favorite YouTuber of all time.
too much time on it. But a lot of people are confused on how to actually spell Gandhi's name in English. It's actually spelled like this, despite a lot of people in Western countries spelling it like this, which led to a lot of people believing that this was actually the correct spelling. But this is just simply a common misspelling and transliteration of his last name.
Yeah. I only know that because
Cliff's
of
Notes.
literally Game Gandhi. Otherwise I would not.
Y'all remember Cliff Notes?
have a clue.
I sure do. Came in clutch for high school readings. So, like many
Cliff
others,
Notes.
I was surprised
Wait,
to
apparently what?
came in clutch for
Oh,
high
yeah,
school
wait.
readings.
Apparently they had actual physical guides as well in Boomer time.
So, like many others, I was surprised to learn that it isn't actually Cliff Notes, but Cliff's Notes with an S.
No
it's a
way.
small difference, but everyone I talked to called it Cliff Notes. Now, I can concede that it was always called Cliff's Notes on
What?
paper, but everyone pronounces
Cliff's
it without the
Notes?
S because it's just easier to
Just
say.
look up the Cliff's Notes.
Which is why
No
I'm
one
sure a
said-
lot
look
of
up the Cliff
people
Notes.
remember it that way.
What? That actually got me. So far, like 4 have gotten me.
Daylight savings time. Now this one is labeled under the spelling category on the iceberg, and I have always definitely heard it called daylight savings time with an
yeah,
S for whatever
daylight
reason.
savings.
But in reality, it's called daylight saving time, which to me just sounds
That got
a little
me again.
weird.
That
And
got
I think
me
this
again.
one mainly just has to do with the way we typically structure sentences
What?
and words in
Daylight
the
savings.
English vernacular.
What? It's just saving? What?
The Statue of Liberty is on Ellis Island.
I guess it makes more sense that as we get deeper into the iceberg, they start hitting different. Like, okay.
This is one of those things that when you learn about the truth, it makes a lot of sense, but even so, many people still don't know about it. Because for a lot of people, they think the Statue of Liberty is located on Ellis Island, when in reality, it's on an island called Liberty Island, which is less than a mile away. But still,
I'm a
some
West
people
Coast dude.
believe that due to
I
the
don't know.
Mandela effect, the statue has moved. With proof of this being photos and videos of New York where the statue should be visible and isn't. There are actually
The fucking statue moved now, guys. Can Cope get any crazier than saying that a fucking giant statue moved? Oh my god.
16. Back to the Future's terrorists drive a Toyota. In the film Back to the Future, the bad guys drive a blue Volkswagen van, despite many fans of the movie remembering a different car, a white Toyota minivan. And this is another case with people claiming that there was a lot of flip-flopping going on. Some people remember the white van originally, before switching to the blue later on, and some remember the blue before it changed to the white, and then back to the blue again. And for some, this is one of the most compelling cases of the Mandela effect, at least in terms of film-related cases. Walter Radar O'Reilly's death in MASH.
Again, I don't know.
So
this one.
Spoilers, I guess, for this show from the 1970s.
Mojo's on a wet
not
food
really,
diet now,
because this character
should be good
called
for his-
Walter
better
Radar
for his
O'Reilly never actually had an on-screen death, even though many people claim to remember it. This was probably believed because the character left the show in season 8, and he is even occasionally mentioned after this point in the series. The entrance to Disney World is Cinderella's castle. Now, I've never been to Disney World near Orlando, Florida, but for those who've been, think about the time you went there and when you first entered the park. Was it through Cinderella's castle? Well, the castle is actually at the end of Main Street.
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Not too much else to say here. This could be believed because of how prominent the castle is, not only just in the park, but also in images of Disney World and Disney's brand as a whole.
By the way, I growing up, I always liked Universal Studios more than Disneyland in California.
Won an Oscar before 2016. Now, this one is strange for me, because I can remember how big of a deal it was in 2016 that Leo won his first Oscar. Everyone was talking about it. So it is kind of surprising for me to hear.
Growing up, going to Universal and like being a Universal fanboy, I appreciate Disneyland. The rare times that I go, I appreciate it. It's very, no shit, it's very childlike. It makes you feel like, oh, this is sweet. Universal was always just more, I mean, they film action movies there, you know? It's very young adult. So, yeah, nah, I like Disneyland as well. I need to go to Disneyland with Wolfie, bro. That's so cute. Guys, you know how Universal does, like, horror nights? Disneyland doesn't do anything scary, obviously, right? But they do, like, probably some Nightmare Before Christmas themed, right? Do they do, like, a dance or something? I remember seeing something like that. That's really sweet. Are they ever gonna, like, let that movie go? No, huh? They're never gonna let that movie go. Tier 5. The Weeknd. Don't tell me you thought he had an E yet. He didn't. He never had an E.
So the Canadian singer and artist The Weeknd has an interesting name, as it's missing an E in the end part of weekend. Exactly. Something people don't really notice until you look closely at the name. I didn't know it was spelled like this either until I did research for this entry.
Bro, what? How do you guys not know that, bro?
Oh my god, bro.
It's like the first thing you notice about him. Even if it's playing on the radio, it'll be like the Blinding Lights, his biggest song, it'll be like The Weeknd. The first thing you think is a typo, right? If you don't know his music.
But this is always what he's called himself. However, apparently he was at one point part of a music duo called The Weeknd, spelled normally, before he went solo and adopted the name without the E at
okay,
the
that's
end.
cool, but that's just people still, whatever. You know what I mean?
Rod Sterling. Again, this is another name.
No, I would not propose
this
to her
time
at
the host
Disneyland.
of the Twilight Zone, Rod
I think that's
Sterling.
corny as fuck.
Actually, wait, no. His name is Rod Serling. Yet again, this is another...
Why would I propose at Disneyland? Why not propose, like put actual fucking effort? Not that the other one isn't. It's just like, I want her to have an experience that's solo. I don't want her to have an experience where I propose to her and hundreds of thousands of other women have been like, oh my god, my husband proposed to me there too. I want Wolfie to have the most unique experience of her fucking life when I propose. Facts. In what world? No, yeah, I'll propose you at Disneyland. Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm gonna give her the most unique shit ever. I'm gonna leave it. I got stuff planned out, bro.
Case of someone being remembered by a common name that is close but actually incorrect. I'm sure you've seen quite a few people or brands and things.
I'm gonna do it at Streamer University,
Sterling, but never Serling, which is such a rare surname that people immediately opt in their brain for Sterling.
Again, For the YouTube viewers that are like, wow, Tub isn't paying attention to some of them. It's true. Some of them I can't relate to, like the old ones.
Skechers. Now, the spelling ones don't usually do too much for me at this point, but this one is one of the ones that kind of shook me. So, Skechers, you know, the shoe brand. How do you remember it being spelled? Is it like this or this? Well, I would guess most people would say this one with the T. But no, apparently Skechers never had a T in its name, which was really surprising to me. Without the T, it just looks weird. Probably because we assume the brand's name comes from the word sketch. So our brains put together the pieces, and you've got Skechers with a T. Smokey the Bear.
What about him?
Only you can prevent forest fires. That's the iconic catchphrase of the mascot Smokey... what? Do you remember it as...
Whoa, did that say Wolfie? Did we summon Wolf? Look at that. Y'all see that? Wait. Is that the artist's name? Just like Wolf spelled with an E? Yo. Oh, no. That's a K. Whoa, that looks like Wolfie from here.
Smokey the Bear or just Smokey Bear? In reality, it's just Smokey Bear.
I talk about her. She's always on my mind, bro. I see her everywhere, bruh.
To be fair, is what I can remember, but a lot of people remember a "the" in there. I really think this one just boils down to a lot of animal mascots having a name followed by an identifying title, such as the blank. And in this case, people assumed he was called Smokey the Bear. Also, fun fact, he was actually based on a real-life black bear cub that climbed a tree to escape a fire, and was at first called Hotfoot Teddy.
No way! I didn't know Smokey the Bear was based on a real cub. Oh, wait. Aww. That's actually so sweet. And the fact that he had to climb a tree to escape a fire. That's sad, but like the aww.
Mickey Mouse had overalls.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Back to Mickey Mouse again.
It's just,
remember when
like
I mentioned he has overalls? Well, despite a lot of people remembering this key feature, he actually does not. He just has the classic red pants. No suspenders or anything like that. Which many people thought was a key feature of his design that is simply not there in official versions of the character. Some people even specifically remember him snapping these shoulder straps, but there is no evidence of this.
I want to be different so bad.
E.T. Phone Home.
Oh, he never said that, huh?
Here we are again with the iconic movie quotes. You know the drill by now. But surprisingly with this one, E.T. does say phone home in the movie. Like a bunch of times, he's literally spamming.
To this day, I will never understand how this movie blew up, because that thing on the screen is fucking disgusting and scary, and I would never go to a theater, especially with my kids, to show, like, hell no. To this day, I never understood why this movie got hype. That is ugly. That thing on the screen is fucking disgusting. Stop playing with me. That is ugly. They gave it an ugly voice, and it looks like my ball sack. Stop it.
So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a case of flip-flopping or not, but yeah, case solved, I guess. And if you're thinking you actually remember him saying E.T. home phone, well, yeah, he said that too.
The creator of the video missaid it. He switched the letters. Look, listen.
Saying E.T. home phone. What?
Home phone. Or I guess not the letters, the words. Unless he meant to say that. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
I'm a DM him.
Yeah, he said that too.
But yeah, he looks like my ball sack.
Target's logo has 2 rings.
Let's see.
This is one of those scenarios where at first it seems like you can vividly remember something
it's
being
the dot
one thing
and one
before you take a look
it.
at the bigger picture and realize once again your mind might be playing tricks on you. What do I mean here? Well, take a look at...
It's just this one, right? That looks weird because that's not the red dot. Maybe people think it's that one. It's this one.
These images. Which of these do you recognize as the Target brand logo? One of these two, right? Well, these are both wrong. The official logo only has one circle around it, despite the 2-ring one looking most accurate to my eyes at least.
Oh,
and some even remember 3 rings, which to be fair is what an actual target looks like, you know, for things like shooting and archery, which is probably why people recognize it more. But also from 1962 to 1968, this was the Target logo,
Whoa.
which looked a lot more, well, like a target. OxyClean. You remember that brand of household cleaners, OxyClean? Well, does this look right to you? Or do you remember it like this? Because until
the first one looks better to my eyes.
I saw this entry, I definitely remembered OxyClean with a Y. 2 separate words too. But apparently there's no space and it's an I instead.
Yeah,
there's a completely different brand called just Oxy, but I don't know. I guess I always just figured it was spelled with a Y because of oxygen or something. But no, the Oxy comes from hydrogen peroxide, which now makes a lot more sense.
That does.
Pepto-Bismol.
There's no L, right? Just Pepto?
So this one might have flip-flopped on me mid-video. I'm just kidding, but I did record this one wrong initially, thinking it was actually Pepto-Bismol, when in reality it's Pepto-Bismol, which is what I have always heard my whole life, but I guess I second-guessed myself there. So I guess then the question is...
No lie, this shit tastes so fucking good though, I'm not gonna lie. I used to love when I would have a stomach ache and my mom would be like, all right, time for Pepto. I'm like, yeah.
I'm not going to talk about this one too much because like a lot of other cases, it's another one where the way it's pronounced kind of changes how people know what it's called.
No way
it's called like Pepto-Bismol, but every time I've heard it, it's pronounced...
Wait, why is he talking about Pepto, but this is on the screen?
Pronounced Pepto-Bismol, which is just a lot easier to say. Whiteout. Again...
Just a little glitch. He messed up. It's okay. Editing glitch.
Very similar situation, but honestly this time I was kind of shocked. Remember whiteout, that thing you'd use to cover up mistakes and such in
It's not my
schoolwork?
screen.
Think
it's
of how
video.
it's spelled. For me, I immediately think of just white-out spelled normally. But apparently it's always been spelled whiteout without the H.
No way.
Really weird spelling for...
They wanted to be different that bad. Hold up. Let me get my food. I'll be back. Literally like... Give me 20 seconds.
Basically no reason. I mean, I guess it's a stylistic choice, but I think our brains just choose to remember the correct spelling. Chartreuse is a pink color.
What did I just...
So for some people, this is a pretty compelling case of the Mandela effect,
Is
as a
alcohol?
lot of them distinctly
Alcoholics,
remember the
is this
color
true? I don't
chartreuse
even know.
as a red or pink shade,
Never heard
when
of this
in reality it's closer to a green or yellow. So first off, it's
That looks like
definitely
piss.
always been green because it's named after a certain French liquor that has that same unique color. And as to why some people believed it to be a pink or a red color, there is also another color called puce, which is actually like a dark red or a brownish purple. Also, it's possible that since it's from a liquor, they might associate that color with more of like...
Okay. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I know. Another pause. I'm annoying. They did not give me a fork. Why don't they do that? I'm gonna just be back again. 20 seconds.
a red wine potentially, but I'm not really too sure with this one. Mother Teresa was canonized in the 90s.
Canon?
So this one has a pretty simple explanation, at least I think so. Because many people are surprised when they find out Mother Teresa was only considered a saint officially by the Catholic Church as of September 4th, 2016. When a lot of people can remember hearing about her being canonized as a saint back in the 90s. But apparently the canonization process can take a long time.
My dumbass. Okay, guys, does anyone know what canonized means? Because I was thinking like they made her canon. Like when a show has a canon ending. Bro, I don't know. I'm gonna assume it has some, like a real, like an actual.
So it was probably
better
already in
definition
talks and such for a while. And the media, I think, still called her Saint Mother Teresa even when it wasn't official yet. Also, she did have a beatification in 2003, which could be what many people are remembering.
Apparently means to declare a deceased person as a saint. Thank you.
I'm a Barbie
Astro.
girl in a Barbie world.
I'm a Barbie in a Barbie. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life is plastic. It's fantastic, right?
So, returning to music Mandela effects here, think about the song Barbie Girl from the 90s.
Don't tell me it's the.
I'm sure most of you have heard it,
I'm a
or
Barbie
have at
girl in
least
the Barbie
heard that
world.
line. Well, shockingly, it isn't actually the real line. It's, I'm a Barbie girl in the
I knew
Barbie
it.
world.
Why?
And similar to many other cases, when you say the fast, especially in something like song lyrics, it can sound like a. Pixie sticks. You can add this to the list of small spelling differences, but
Yeah.
honestly, this
I remember
one
these
out
from
of all of them just
elementary.
seems odd. Like,
Yeah,
I swear I could remember pixie with an I and an E, not just a Y at the end. It looks strange, doesn't it? But this is the real spelling. Some people also remember sticks spelled normally, not with an X, but that's a whole nother can of worms. My only explanation for this one is that a lot of us remember the correct spelling of the word pixie, because spelling it with a Y is not something you really ever see, and just looks off.
That does look weird though, I'm not gonna lie.
Cup o' noodles.
No, it's of. Stop.
Is it cup o'
No.
noodles, or is it just cup noodles? Well, today
It's not of. I don't remember. I feel like I would remember an O and an apostrophe, so it's definitely not that one. And he's saying that the only other option is just cup noodles, because there's no O and apostrophe for sure. I thought it was of, but he didn't give that as an option. So
it is called just simply cup noodles.
okay,
But
that is weird. Also, by the way, that is also weird.
before you think you've jumped realities, when this product was first introduced in the States in 1971, it was actually called Cup of Noodles, before it was changed to just Cup Noodles in 1993. And despite not being officially named Cup of Noodles since then, I think a lot of people have still held on to that original name. George W. Bush reading The Pet Duck. So when the attacks occurred on the World Trade Center on September 11th, 2001, the president at the time, George W. Bush, was at an elementary school
Yeah, you gotta
while
put a
grade
lime in the
school
cup of
reading
noodles?
exercise was happening
Yeah,
called the
yeah.
Pet Goat. However, for some
You got
reason,
to.
some people remember it being the Pet Duck, even though no such book exists. Some also thought it was called My Pet Goat, as it was reported in a 2004 documentary that that was the title. But the reason people remember the Pet Duck was because that was actually from Scary Movie 4, and was actually a parody of this event, but this time with aliens. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. This quote is often attributed to Einstein, and is such
Really?
a popular quote you hear it all the time in media.
I heard the
At
quote, but
least
not from. I
variations
didn't.
of
Never
it
saw it
anyway.
from Albert Einstein.
But apparently this has been misattributed to Einstein, and he in fact never said it. So then, who did? Well, it's kind of unclear. There are some very similar quotes that have appeared throughout literature over the years, but in a book from Princeton University Press called The Ultimate Quotable Einstein, there is a section called Misattributed to Einstein, which is where this quote can be found.
You got 32 minutes of this left. Nice.
Moses statue doesn't have horns. We got a Bible and religion themed Mandela effect. So the Moses statue created by Michelangelo has some pretty obvious horns coming out of his head. A feature that seems very noticeable when you know about it going in. But for a lot of people, more specifically a lot of religious people, they did not know that Moses had horns. And many remember seeing that statue with no visible horns at all. But from every picture I could find from many different years, it always had the horns. Frosty the Snowman's scarf. One of the all-time classic characters associated with Christmas. I'm sure you
does
could
he have a
probably
scarf in the
picture
first
what
place?
he looks like in your head right now.
Or is it like
something
a pattern
like
on it?
this, right? Well, actually,
Yeah,
apparently
yeah,
in most
okay.
of the TV
I don't remember him with a scarf.
and book versions of the character, he didn't actually wear a scarf. Crazy, I know. It seems like one of the most prominent features of his design, but there's a very good reason. It's the decorations that usually have the red scarf, which looks more accurate to what you remember, right? Again, I think this is just another case of our brains filling in the blanks when it comes to the films and such. That's my theory, anyway.
Goated character, not talked about a lot. Frosty the Snowman. I like
Neil
him.
Armstrong is alive. Neil Armstrong is known for being the first ever person to walk on the moon, which took place in 1969. However, some people are surprised to find out that he died in 2012. Even for me, I recalled him still being alive as well. But this could just be because the other astronaut that was with him, and the second person to walk on the moon, Buzz Aldrin, is still alive today at the age of 92. And this could be who people are remembering.
Was it fake though?
Billy Graham.
One of the craziest theories. To fake the moon landing in the race with other countries. Hey, I'm just saying. They could have faked it. I'm just saying. I had this whole talk with Andrew about it. I'm like, so you're telling me if I use a telescope, I'm going to see that flag, the American flag? They planted a flag on the moon, right? I was like, you're telling me if I could see that? I don't know. Maybe.
Is alive. Billy Graham was an American evangelist and minister that died at the age of 99 in 2018. But for this entry, I think this refers to people believing he may have died earlier, as I did find a post on the Mandela Effect subreddit which shows that some people remember him passing away sometime around 2013. Even
some people
though
have, like,
that
HD
wasn't the
pictures of the
case,
moon.
with some people even recalling memorial and funeral services that never happened. However, it could be possible that they were remembering the deaths of other evangelical figures, such as Fred Phelps in 2014, Chuck Colson in 2012,
Good point.
Jerry Falwell
Why haven't they gone
in
back?
2007, or possibly even Harold
it again.
Camping in 2013.
If you about it, then do it again. Be like, look, we could really be on the moon again.
Mike and Ike. Let's cut right to the chase here. How do you remember Mike and Ike's being spelled? Do you remember just the N or the full word and? Because I for sure remember just the N, even though this is
honestly, I'm different. I thought it was the fucking and sign.
actually false. This is
Like,
really weird.
shift 7.
Because I don't really have a good explanation for this one. Maybe it's just because of the way we pronounce the name, saying and really fast most of the time, making us think that it was just an N, but I don't really know. This is the song that never ends. For the 1992 series Lamb Chop's Play Song, there is a very well-known song where the character sings,
This is the song that doesn't end.
even though people
It sounds like a decent SpongeBob impression.
remember it being the song that never ends. But there are a couple of explanations here. For one, there are other versions of the song that existed before the show's release, which actually do use never as the lyric. Also, it's probably another case of your brain priming you to think it's never because that's what you would expect.
Tier 6 out of 7.
War, death, famine, and pestilence. At first, to me, this one was absolutely crazy, but don't worry, there is an explanation at the end. So, do you know the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? Even if you don't off the top of your head, you'll probably recognize them when I read them off. You've got war, death, famine, and pestilence, right? Well, sometimes it's war, famine, death, and conquest. What?
I've never
Well, allow
heard
me
of
to explain this.
everything I'm
because
hearing
I
is
have
new to me. I've never heard any of
Conquest
this.
as one of the 4 horsemen before. The white horse is usually pestilence, but it can also be called conquest, depending on what denomination of Christianity you subscribe to. So not really a Mandela effect, just different interpretations and Bible translations. Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme donuts.
There aren't too many more of these spelling ones, but here's
just please. It's the letter K. It's always been K's. Is it gonna be like there's 2 C's?
another one for you. But for me, this one doesn't really do too much. In fact, I can always remember it being called Krispy Kreme with a K. It's just a part of the branding that I've always noticed, but some remember it a little differently, spelled with C's. I think people just misremembered it that way because it would actually be the correct spelling in standard English. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Jaws reference.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Wait, what? Say that again?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Oh, you're.
Okay, so yeah, Brody in Jaws says you.
This is gonna sound so fucking like Gen Z. I didn't. First of all, obviously I never watched these movies, but the only reason I know about this because I was hyperfixated on GTA 5 story mode and online, and there's an achievement you get with the first time you get eaten by a shark in story mode, and the achievement, it's like achievement unlocked. We're gonna need a bigger boat, and I was like, and it's just an Easter egg that yeah.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. Even though pretty much everyone I've heard say this famous quote says, we're gonna need a bigger boat. So what's going on here? Well, I think this is actually pretty simple. Firstly, it's another thing where pop culture, as well as the fact that it's one of the most quoted movie lines ever, actually plays into what people remember. So it's likely it got spread around as we're gonna need a bigger boat, but why add in that part? I think this is just to add additional context, because in the film, Brody says you're, but I mean, they're both on the boat, so it would make sense to say we're. Also, it just sounds better this way in my opinion.
It does.
And apparently a lot of people also thought so too, because this version has lived on through a lot of the fans of this film. Well, maybe except for the diehard fans. I'm sure they already knew what the real quote was. But still, it's interesting to note that in some of the subtitled versions of Jaws, it actually does say we're gonna need a bigger boat. So, I mean, who knows? Swastika flipped sides. So, some may not know that the swastika wasn't always a symbol of the Nazi Party. In fact, before they adopted it, it had many different meanings in different cultures, usually used as a symbol of spirituality. And this isn't really a case of the Mandela effect. The symbol can be found in various angles, with different meanings for which way it's facing.
That is true.
Objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear. Now, for some, this is one of the strongest cases of the Mandela effect at work. And I gotta admit, I do remember it being worded this way. That being this message that could be found on the side view mirrors of cars. However, now that maybe portion of the phrase is missing and nowhere to be found, even though many people swear they remember it. Even song lyrics, as well as a book from Stephen
Wait, that's not, like, if I go to check my car, it doesn't have it right now?
King reference that maybe part that isn't there. Some people even think that this is an egregious case of flip-flopping. Remember
in the mirror.
It being both ways and having
I'm gonna assume it's some car brands.
It switched. And this is just such a weird
Or
case.
you think they're talking about the way the message is framed? Objects in the mirror closer than...
I mean, I can kind of see it both ways from the perspective of creating this actual phrase. Because saying maybe suggests that they may not always be closer than they appear because of the relative positions of cars or whatever objects can be seen in the mirror. But on the other hand, it really does make a lot more sense to just say are, because you don't really want to be wishy-washy with your language when it comes to whether or not something is there. And I mean, if it does appear in your mirror, then it is closer than it appears, because you literally see it. There's no maybe about it. Okay. And when people see that
it's just the phrasing. It's not the fact that they're on cars. Okay, I get it.
It is a guarantee and not just a maybe. Hopefully they will be more careful.
So
and
the
I think that's
they
overall
maybe,
why R does make more sense in this.
It does make sense to be like affirmative about it, rather than like they may be closer, and then just like they are closer, just legal wise. It's
context.
Definitive.
I hope any of that really made any sense. but I'm not really sure why people, including myself, remember maybe. This case honestly has me a little stumped.
I see that.
Nikolai Tesla. Not too much to say on this one. A very small difference that not a lot of people notice or remember, because many people in the West at least are more familiar with the name Nikolai, rather than just Nikola, which is Tesla's actual first name.
Okay.
Heart is directly to the left, not slightly to the left. Alright, so real life anatomy Mandela effects. This is where it really gets interesting. So where do you remember being told your heart is located?
Like,
is it on the
slightly to
left
the left.
side or just slightly to the left?
It's not fully here.
I
It's
can't
like-
really
it's
say
like
I recall anything about
right here.
this. I guess I just never really thought about my heart's location. But many claim that they remember it being far more to the left than it actually is.
No,
But there
no.
are a couple explanations here. Firstly, it is still technically on the left side, although it is more towards the middle. But also when you feel your heartbeat or pledge allegiance, you place your right hand on your left side, typically.
I do the Pledge of Allegiance
Me,
every morning
Tarzan,
in middle
you,
school.
Jane.
I pledge
So many
allegiance
people
to the
recall
flag
from-
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, and the republic for justice and freedom for all. Freedom and justice for all, something like that. Freedom and justice for all.
In the original Tarzan film that he said, "Me, Tarzan, you, Jane." So much so that it is often quoted in reference to the character
Nah, I'm not
and
tired.
films, even though it was never said in the movie. But the reason this gets brought up and said a lot is because the original actor for Tarzan, Johnny Weissmuller, said it in an interview in 1932. And I guess the quote just kind of stuck after that. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. So let me ask you this question. Do you remember either the original book by Dr. Seuss?
It's the left. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. It's gotta be. Because this one does look different. The Grinch Who Stole... No, I think it's left. How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Or the film adaptation? Well, what is it called? In actuality,
I'm not
it's
tired, but
called
thank you,
How
Case
the
Plan.
Grinch
That's
Stole
pretty sweet
Christmas,
coming from
despite
you.
many people remembering it as The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Even I thought that this was the real title before I looked into this. Now, I guess this makes sense that it's how, because, you know, the story is the story of how the Grinch stole Christmas, but I'm just wondering where we got The Grinch Who Stole Christmas from. And, yeah, I got nothing.
Other
I mean,
movies?
there's a movie called The Grinch from 2018, but that's fairly recent. The Duracell Bunny came first. Ah yes, the ancient rivals of Duracell and Energizer, two battery companies with similar bunny mascots. So one clearly had to copy the other, so then who did it first? Some people would say the Energizer Bunny, which debuted in 1988, but actually the Duracell Bunny first appeared in 1973. And apparently the 1988 Energizer Bunny was a parody of this original one. But it was actually such a success that the company kept it and even trademarked its bunny.
No way.
And there was a subsequent trademark dispute between the two companies, leading the Energizer Bunny to be used in Canada and the US, while
Imagine someone makes a parody of your logo. It becomes more popular, people love it, and they copyright it.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass
Duracell Bunny could be used in the rest of the world, which is why I guess some remember the Energizer Bunny being first.
I'm happy to hear that.
Because it had exclusive rights in America.
Hyperion. And I hopefully you keep doing good.
The name's Bond, James Bond. Definitely the most iconic quote from the film series James Bond,
Name's
despite it
Bond,
being
James
slightly different than how
Is it
people
that-
usually quote it.
It's not
It's
it?
actually My Name is Bond, James Bond, which in my opinion definitely doesn't sound as cool as just saying the name's Bond. I guess this is yet again a case of people slightly changing a quote to just make it sound better, with it having stuck over the years.
Wait, James... Never mind.
Tony the Tiger's black nose.
Let's see.
Who remembers Frosted Flakes?
Bro, it's not. Why would it be this? Stop it. it's this. Like, that's literally painted over. If only they used better images that we could guess from. It would, you know.
What am I even talking about? I still eat Frosted Flakes all the time. Gotta be my favorite cereal of all time, too. But to be honest, I never really looked closely at the mascot, Tony the Tiger.
It's not bad.
But now that I'm looking at it, the blue nose does look kind of weird. And many people think they remember him having a black nose. Really, I think
the blue nose looks weird because it's blending in with the blue background.
this just comes down to the fact that the black on his nose would match the stripes on him as well as his ears. So the blue just kind of looks out of place. And
Dude,
you
what
don't
happened
really
to
notice
Frosted
it until you're looking for it.
What happened to
Although
Frosted
the
Flakes
blue
commercials,
nose
bro?
does
They
match
used to
the
be
color of the box.
everywhere on Cartoon Network. They're great. Had ass.
Coke Zero brand. Okay, so I think this one can be explained away. But still, you might be surprised to hear at first that there is no such thing as Coke Zero. Like, you won't find a bottle or can that says that. But there is a Coca-Cola Zero. Even though many think they can recall just simply Coke Zero.
No,
some claim that there are certain regional labels that just say that, but for the most part, it's Coca-Cola on the label. And I think people just remember it as Coke because that's what people call it. I mean, nobody says Coca-Cola, right? You just refer to it as a Coke, even if it's zero, diet, regular,
let me get a
whatever.
Coca-Cola.
So I think that's what's going on
the
here.
rocks. Excuse me.
Marvel Comics letters are not connected. Not gonna spend too much time on this one. It's really basic and can be explained pretty easily, as again, it's just something that you don't ever really notice or pay attention to. But once I tell you, you'll never be able to unsee it, so prepare yourselves, I guess. All of the letters in the Marvel logo are connected, except for the L at the end, for whatever reason. Not really a Mandela effect or anything.
I'm genuinely never going to be able to unsee that. Why did they leave the L? Oh, I guess I know. You can see why they left it. It would be, wow. Yeah, I'm never going to be able to unsee that. Wow. Look at that L all alone in the corner.
Just something that I don't think most people notice.
Yeah. Every time
a frog will stay in boiling water.
What?
So there's this really famous metaphor, I'm sure you've heard at least once in your life, about how if you put a frog in boiling water, it will jump out. But if
yeah, because we all tried that as kids. That's where the phrase came from, bro. We all tried to put a frog in what? Yo, old heads were on some weird shit, bro. I don't give a fuck, bro.
If you put it in normal water and then slowly heat it up to boiling, it will stay there until it cooks to death. And this isn't really meant to be taken literally. It's a metaphor that's used to represent people not reacting to or being aware of something.
I know it's a metaphor, but it had to come from somewhere. I hate that that's a metaphor because then, like, you know, some dumbass kid had to have tested it too.
Bad happening as long as it happens slowly rather than immediately. But as an actual experiment, this has been proven false. Because frogs don't really just sit still. It will jump out of the water before it gets hot. So where does the Mandela effect come in? Well, I guess people think it's a case of the Mandela effect because this experiment turned out to be false, despite it being kind of a well-known fact before it was fully researched in the 90s, but I'm not really sure.
Last tier.
Dazed and Confused Globe.
Alright, these gotta
The
be crazy.
1993 comedy film Dazed and Confused has a particular globe that has sparked quite a bit of conversation, as some believe it could prove that we live in an alternate reality to the one seen in the film, because there is an unknown landmass located to the left of Australia. But this island can be explained. It is actually what's called a cartouche, which is an emblem that usually contains a title or scale for the map.
Emblem, okay.
New Zealand is
nah,
to
bro,
the
that's
left of
Tuvland.
Australia.
Wait, what?
Another
what do you say?
New Zealand is to the left of Australia. Another geographical Mandela effect. This one isn't very popular, but a Reddit post does describe one user's experience thinking that New Zealand was always to the left of Australia on a map before it was actually changed. Although many people chimed in that live in New Zealand and Australia and confirmed its location has always remained the same. September 22/23, 2011 anomalies due to CERN testing. We're
5
back to
PM?
talking about CERN. Here's a really interesting conspiracy for you.
That's cool.
So on the date of September 22nd, 2011...
Wait, is it the 15th or the 16th of July for you?
CERN gave a report that allegedly violated Einstein's theory of relativity because they recorded particles moving faster than the speed of light, which wasn't thought to be possible. Now, I guess some believe that this event also caused Mandela effects due to
Twitch, clip that. Just testing it out.
shifts in our reality on this specific date, but apparently this happened due to faulty equipment. So yeah, rip this theory, I guess.
No.
Hitler had brown eyes.
Who's paying attention to this?
This is a fact that I and many others thought was true, and something that was generally accepted by most people. But in reality, Hitler had blue eyes, which kind of ruined the irony of the fact that he had brown eyes, despite blue eyes being what the Nazi Party thought was ideal for their Aryan race. Now, it could be that this was spread around because he didn't have the blue eyes, but it's also possible that this was just something that wasn't well known, because a lot of the times, videos and images of him are in black and white. Eli Whitney was black. The cotton gin was an invention created by Eli Whitney Jr. that contributed to a growth in slavery in the American South, as it made cotton farming a lot more profitable. And a lot of people remember the irony of the creator of the cotton gin being an African American and possibly even a slave himself, because this invention only led to more slavery. I'm pretty sure I even learned this in school at one point. But the truth is, the creator of the cotton gin was white, and apparently this was neglected as a fact in a lot of American public education.
Damn!
And many people remember being taught that he was black for some reason. Apparently it was said that Eli thought the invention would reduce the need for slave labor, but we know it really had the opposite effect. So I'm not really sure where this whole misconception came from. Eisenhower dime. Some people remember incorrectly that the 34th President of the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower, appeared on the dime, but in fact it is the 32nd President, Franklin D. Roosevelt, that appears on the dime. However, from 1971 to 1978, Eisenhower did appear on the dollar coin, so this is probably what people are remembering.
Bro, what? Like, I don't even know. Well, I'm not like I'm the history guy. I should have known all of this. So that's the guy on the dollar coin, huh? Okay. Fun fact. Wow. Hey, I know, bro.
Also, it's kind of hard to recognize who is on the coin just from looks alone. A lot of them look similar if you don't know for sure who they are. 60 plus US states. This is just wild to me that someone from America would even think this. I've always been taught since like the age of like 5 that there's 50 states.
Who the fuck is saying that there's 60 states?
I couldn't even really find much on there being 60 states at all.
No.
I guess this is just some kind of wild conspiracy.
Why is it so high up on the
But
iceberg?
I did find some people who remember learning there were 52 states, most likely thinking that Alaska and Hawaii were those two. And that's a lot more understandable. But no, it's always been 50 states, ever since Hawaii joined in 1959. The peace symbol, feet up. Okay, so everyone knows and recognizes the peace symbol, I'm sure. But for some, they think there's some kind of flip-flopping going on, or that they remember the symbol inverted originally. But no, it's always been like this, because it was created in the 1950s as part of a nuclear disarmament movement, using the semaphore signals for letters N and D, which stand for nuclear disarmament.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, that one just went over me. Like, I don't even know
The
what he said.
thinker's fist on his forehead.
No, bro, it's on
Does
his
this
chin,
image of the iconic
right?
rodent statue, the
Is it not?
thinker, look off to you?
This is the normal one. This is what it should be, right? It's not.
Well, for some it does. Some people remember him resting his fist on his forehead, not his chin.
Bro.
But, like a lot of other ones on this tier, specifically, I always remembered the chin. Because, well, it just makes the most sense, right? I mean, usually when you think of the intellectual thinking pose, you imagine the hand on the chin, right? Not the forehead. However, there are quite a couple of books that reference the thinker as touching his forehead, so I could be completely off base, but I just don't think I see it with this one. Also, Rodin also created a statue called the Age of Bronze, which depicts a man holding his forehead with his hand, but I doubt this is what people are picturing. Honestly, this could be because of similar poses not related to statues, such as Tim Tebow's iconic
Epics, what was the thumbnail on the Twitch opening page? We're watching a video about Mandela effects.
football pose.
I think I know exactly what part of the video
The pyramids
it was.
are aligned with the Orion constellation. This is more so a proposed fringe theory at explaining the arrangements of the pyramids in Giza than it is a case of the Mandela effect. But the theory goes that there is some kind of correlation between the 3 largest pyramids of Giza with the constellation Orion. This is because it is thought by some researchers that the angles between the 3 stars in Orion's belt are an exact match with the pyramids, but this theory hasn't gotten much credence by the greater scientific and astronomer communities. The North Pole has land.
Okay, did he save tier 7 for just geography? Like the what? Right?
So some of you might be surprised to learn that the North Pole actually has no land. It's not a snowy Arctic wasteland or anything,
It's not where Santa
just
lives?
water. I myself was quite surprised to learn that fact. And this isn't a case of the Mandela effect at all, just a lesser known fact. Because in various pieces of media and such, the North Pole is portrayed as the home of Santa, where it's just kind of a snowy and cold landscape. Also, the water in the North Pole is for the most part frozen over, which does create a surface of ice, which is what we could be thinking of when we imagine the North Pole.
Well, no, the creator, if you think about it, would lose. It's not losing views. I would add more views to the video when I upload it on Tubbington. The Tubbington videos average 40,000 views. So if anything, it would. I guess you could say you could argue that he's losing views, but this is a 3-year-old video. I don't think 40,000 people would get on the recommended right now. So
Tiananmen Square Tank Man was killed. This is another moment in history that a lot of people claim they remember and were even taught that is false. This is referring to the 1989 Tiananmen Square.
Oh, it has a good amount, like 1.3 million.
Which is
an
an
event
2.2
where
million.
A
lot of
it's
people
good.
died in a massacre. But the Tank Man wasn't one of those people. Who is this we're even talking about? This guy right here, who stood in front of a tank in protest of the Chinese government and appears in well-known photos. A lot of people recall him being killed or even run over by the tank, but actually he never was. At least it was never recorded, as he is still an unidentified person. So he very well could have been killed later by Chinese authorities, but we really don't know. It was never reported, at least in any way that I could find, that he was run over or anything like that. But the simple explanation for this is that there were protesters that were run over by tanks in the massacre, but just not this specific individual. Blood is blue in your veins.
I've heard that one. Okay.
This is another example of simple misinformation, like a lot of the stuff in this tier, to be honest. But this again was something that I remember being told at least once as a kid, and I definitely believed it. That being that blood is actually blue in your body, which is explained by the veins that appear blue. And blood only turns red when it is exposed to oxygen.
That's
but
not true.
This is just a myth and misconception.
What?
Blood does slightly change color when it is oxygenated, but it only becomes a slightly darker red. That's it.
Wow.
Lindbergh's baby case went cold. In March of 1932, a 20-month-old baby of the Lindbergh family named Charles Lindbergh Jr. was abducted from his crib in their home. and there was a massive investigation into this baby's disappearance, which also involved a huge trial and even a ransom. But on May 12th of that same year, the child's body was found, and a man named Richard Hauptmann was found guilty and charged with the murder, and was executed in 1936, although some have since began to question his guilt. A lot of people, though, have different memories of this event, which makes sense considering it's such an old crime and story. Some remember the baby never being found, while some even remember him being found alive, but none of these are true. But these misconceptions and rumors could be because some people doubted that the corpse found was the Lindbergh baby at all, and some even came forward years later claiming to have found it as either some sort of hoax or prank.
Damn. That's sad.
Elisa
Alright, we have 4 minutes left in this iceberg.
Lamb died in a closed water tank. This is a rather dark and infamous case that a lot of people familiar with true crime probably know about. The case of Elisa Lam, a Chinese-Canadian woman who acted erratically and went missing at a hotel in Los Angeles, and was eventually found in the hotel's water tank. The Mandela effect is that many people remember reports of the water tank being closed, which they thought was a big deal, considering she managed to get in there somehow. But if you look at reports of the incident now, it says that the water tank was open. It could be the case that originally it was thought that the tank was closed for whatever reason, and was reported as such by the media,
This is that shit that will
before it
keep
was
you
eventually
up.
corrected, as the water tank was actually open at the time that she was found. It's not just news media either. I think I remember quite a few YouTube videos reporting that the tank was closed, so that could be also where this misconception comes from. Personal Mandela effects. And finally, for the last one, we have personal Mandela effects. And this is where I ask you guys some strange and interesting cases of the Mandela effect that you have noticed that maybe not a lot of people have talked about or noticed, or that are particularly important or fascinating to you. And I'll give you guys a few for me. So first off, this one really blew my mind, and it's a decently well-known one, at least if you're a fan of Black Ops 2. So remember the map Standoff? Yeah, me too.
Wait, why do we? How do we bring up Black Ops 2? Wait, okay, now I'm interested. Wait, what?
Classic map. Been remade a couple of times too.
Yeah.
Surely you remember this part of the map. It's near the center of it.
Yeah.
But can you remember this yellow sign being here? No?
I remember
Well,
that
you're
being
not alone.
talked about, but no, I don't remember that.
I don't remember this either. And this isn't something that was changed later on. Apparently this sign has been here on the map since 2012. But I've never noticed it, and have never.
Yeah, it's because like it blends in. Look at that color. It was remade, and they made the color stand out more. But like it just blends in the map. You're focused on killing people. I get that.
Never heard anyone talk about it until it got brought up as a case of the Mandela effect. I mean, you'd think you'd notice or remember something this big on the map, especially since you can bounce grenades off it and stuff. But for some reason, to me, it just seems so out of place.
Bro, if you need space, just delete GTA 5. I promise you, like you don't need GTA 5 right now.
But besides that, I don't really have any that I can remember from my actual personal life.
Okay. W video. Let me shout out his channel. All right. That was a video by Source Brew. Go subscribe to Source Brew. He put all the effort into that. I just simply reacted. So final tough statement for this is I do sense a lot of like I just want to be different as fucking Mandelas. Actually, there was no, there wasn't. But a lot of them, a good amount, like a good like 7, had me like, no way. What do you mean? What do you mean? So that was really interesting. YouTube viewers, which one was your favorite? But yeah.